Ooh, hello. Hi. Because I started so late, I just was like, you know what, yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go on now. Sorry, that song was getting a bit too in my head. But yes, I hope you're all doing well. Barry, how was work? I hope it was okay. I hope you're big chilling now. Mimi, I know we've already spoken in like 2 people's Twitch chats already, but yes, I hope you're good. Also, go and keep hanging with Trev if Trev's like finishing stream soon. It's so okay. I just like, yeah, had to start streaming now because otherwise I wouldn't do it. So, yes. Flicky Nose came in, but he didn't serve him. Big slay. Big slay. Did the lift get fixed, or is the lift fucked? I think the lift is fucked. I suspect it's fucked. Still fucked, yeah, okay. Right, the reason I say that is because I'm Madge with Don Paulo. Right? So, tomorrow, I'm going to the cinema after work, right? So I wanted to work until 7. So now what I've done is I've swapped with our newest co-worker, because she was due to work 3/7, I was due to work 1/5. So I've now swapped. So I'm working the 3/7. Don Paulo has texted me to say, who doesn't know this, doesn't know that we swapped. Don Paulo's texted me to say, would I be able to stay until 7 tomorrow? At short notice. So he wasn't saying, can you stay till 7? What he was saying was, tomorrow, if it's really busy, could you stay till 7? So I've now had to go back to him and say, sorry, I've already swapped. I could come in early if you want, but I'm staying until 7. Yeah. And so now the person I've swapped shifts with might be getting the long shift, and will have fucked himself out 2 hours. Madge. Also, his text to me, his first text to me, it did include a classic Don Paulo winky face for no reason. So thanks for that. Thank you for that one, Don Paulo. But it's fine. It's fine, right? This is fine. So, yes. Oh, my hair's up. Let's not have that. Oh, what have you done? What's happened? Have you pinned him down about a new shirt or something? What's happening? What have you done? Okay, right. Okay, I'm still going to be proud of people. Do tell me. You tied the papers. Oh, look at you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You've done so well. Sorry. Only took you 3 years. Only took you 3 years and being on a close with Elaine to finally do it. But yes, I'm very proud of you. You've done so well. Yes. Love that for you. Love that for you. Big Joe. Hi, Sabine. Hello, lovely. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Yes, you said you had work. Did you? I think you said you had work. My social anxiety peaks when you have to ask Don Paul to add papers. That's fair. That is so fair. I would not want to. I remember doing that, actually. I remember doing that in that situation where I went to him, like, right after I started and was like, this music's a bit loud. I didn't say that to him. And I was like, could you show me how to tie the papers? And then he, bless him, said, ooh, could you ask Elaine to show you? And I was like, Elaine didn't know how to do it. You passed your car theory exam. Let's go. That's huge. No, today you went to another city because you needed to take the exam there. Made a day of it. That's nice. That's nice. But yes, I'm so glad you passed. Congratulations. Oh yeah, no, we know he hates doing any part of his job like that. Stinky. Stinky. I was going to say something else then. Oh yeah, Berry, not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to do exactly that. So, you know, I'm going to the cinema tomorrow. Oh, hi, Pa. Hello. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. Okay, just putting you on the spot. So, I'm going to the cinema. I was going to go to the cinema with that one co-worker, and that plan's now fallen through. Just thought I'd double check before I cancel the other ticket. I assume you don't want to go, because I know what you've got on Thursday. I assume you don't want to come with. And if you don't, that's fine, and I'll just refund the ticket. But I figured I'd ask, just because, you know. That's what I always do. But it's fine. What time is it? It's after work. It's at like 10 to 8, I think. At the exact same time, yeah. It's the exact same time as all of our other ones. But yes. And also, if you don't want to come with, which again is fine, I'm going to swap seats. But yes, no pressure to come with at all. I just figured I'd ask. When am I going next? Oh, next Tuesday, a week today. Cool, cool. Yes, though, I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad. How am I doing, Snow? I'm doing. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. For reasons mostly that I don't understand, I feel like my anxiety is like popping off. Just like in general, like a bit sort of aimlessly. Not to just word dump my exact problem onto you, but like, you know, that is the situation. So yeah, it's okay. If you can relate, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you can relate, but yeah, no, it'd be like that. You may have to check in with the parents because they may be in full funeral panic mode. I would love you to come with me. When I asked you about 2 minutes ago, I expected you to say no. So you're giving this already more thought than I thought you even would. There's absolutely no pressure at all. Hi, Trev. Hi. I've got a notification that says you want to collaborate, which I think you have to be live to do that. So, oh, fuck off, Mimi. I swear to God. I swear to God. But yes, thank you for raiding, Trev. I'm sorry I had to step out. If I didn't start streaming, like right now, I wouldn't have done it. So, yes, I had to step out. I did not mean to do that. I won't. If I click accept, will you just go back live? Surely you won't. But, you know. Yes. Yes. I would say I hope you're doing good. How was your stream? Respectfully, I'm going to decline it. There you go, I've declined. But I still love you. Yes, I would say how was your stream? How are you doing? Like I wasn't there like 10 minutes ago. But, you know. GG yanks everyone back to Trev. Just, nope. You almost hit it last night. Ooh, okay, interesting. Twitch you, truly. Yeah, we're here. Yes. Stand by 1 sec. Oh, jam. Okay. Raid train, but it's raid the same person back and forth. We just go back and forth. Yes. Which, in your stream, no, not at all. Not at all, Trev. I mean, as Mimi's just said, yes, it's literally your channel. Speaking of which, I'm okay, Mimi. I'm okay. Since like last Friday, Saturday, my anxiety levels, just like in general, have gone from like I'm okay to like, oh fuck. That's sort of where I'm at. Like, yeah, and it's a bit like this is good and it's bad in different ways, but like it's sort of aimless anxiety as well. It's not even really like about things. It's just I feel like my baseline level has just gone like, okay, we're up here now. So that's a problem. Yes. If you want to tell anyone any more about your interview, you're more than welcome to, Mimi. More than welcome to. You're shaking after the interview, even though it went fine. I'm sure you did so well. And I would hire you. Yes. See, I'm down for that. He yapped most of the time. Wow. Someone else yapped. That's wild. Right. Trev, you are speaking my language, friend. I know you said on your stream, like what you've eaten in the last couple of days. I forced myself while you were live to eat some noodles. I wanted a solid 0 of those noodles, but I ate quite a few of them. But not all of them because, no, it wasn't the one. It was not the one. But yes, when you can try and eat something. And I don't care if it's a meal or if it's like a chocolate bar or like a protein bar. Whatever you can eat, try and, yes, eat it. I have an early tomorrow, so you gotta sleep. I'm sorry you gotta go to bed already. I'm sorry for streaming so late tonight. Yeah, no, I was going to stream earlier, but then I didn't eat, and oh, yeah, no, things just got waylaid, but I will stream again early soon. Yes, I hope your shift does go okay, of course. There was another manager there too that wasn't leading the interview, and afterwards she was like, we'll be in touch. The way she said it was promising. Oh, was it like we'll be in touch? Yeah, I hope so. Because you do truly deserve. Oh yeah, okay. Exciting, interesting, promising. It was massively that good. As it should be. As it should be for someone with your qualifications and experience and general personality. They should hire. I look cute as fuck today. Prove it, bitch. Show me. Do it. Show me. No, yes, I'm sure you do though. I don't even need pics. Get on Discord right now. Bitch, Discord is open. I don't care. Video call me or send photos. Whatever you want to do, bestie. I'm so there. Again, you don't have to do anything. It's so okay. Yes. Right, I don't know what to do today because my plan was to play some Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's message meme says literally open right now. Yes. Yeah, so I could play Breath of the Wild for like a little bit. And I'm not opposed to doing it. I don't want to stream too late because I think if I stream too late it messes me up for the night then. So I don't want to stream too... Oh shit, she's actually video calling me. Hang on. Mimi, I'm not sure you'll be able to hear me. And wait, hang on. Is this okay to play on stream? Or do I need to mute the stream? Mimi, tell me in a message first. Sure, okay.
Hi, where are you?
You might not be able to see me.
I can't see you.
It might be because the webcam's already being used on OBS.
I can't see you. I can see you on stream, but I can't see you.
Hi. You do look amazing. Oh my god. I'm like looking into your. Oh my god. I just looked into your eyes instead of the webcam. Oh my god. I'm like, hi. Hello. Hi. Oh my god. I'm like, hi. I hear myself.
Hi.
It's like horrendous, but hello. It's like horrendous, but hello.
Hi. We're just like live on the fly.
I love this. I love this for you.
See, don't I look cute today?
Yes, you do. You look so cute. Aww. Aww. I'm not putting this on stream, by the way. I hope that's what you intended me to do, because I'm down to fire that up. I'm not putting this on stream, by the way. I hope that's what you intended me to do, because I'm down to fire that up.
Nah, it's okay.
No, okay. Got you.
I'll get off call now so you can go back to stream. I just wanted to do it for the hee hee ha ha's.
Love that for you. Okay.
Bye, Snow.
Bye. Aww, that was cute, wasn't it? Love that for me. Can confirm, chat, Mimi did, in fact, look cute. Anyway, hi Blair, hello. Hello. Hee. Yes, 10 out of 10 would hire you. Can confirm. Wait, music, it's eerily quiet now. Do you remember when I had no music and it was just silence above my yaps? We don't talk about those times. Those were dark times. But yes, hi Blair, I know again we talked a bit earlier, but I hope you're doing well as well. How did that caps lock? I don't question it. When did I do that? When did I do what? Not have music? Oh, for the longest time I had no music on, like just chatting. And so I was always like, let's get into the game quickly. You're doing better. Good. I'm glad. Yes. Oh. Mimi, respectfully, I was not looking at the background, bestie. I have no idea. I don't know. Feel better with your little warhammer. Nice. Love that for you. Okay, I would be down, if anyone else is down, to play a little bit of Zelda. I wasn't sure, because it's a bit late. I wasn't sure if I wanted to start it today. But I would be down. That's true, Trev. That is so true. It's such the song. More so than usual. It's just the perfect song to just have on. I love it. I should play Galaxy again. I really should. It is just a vibe. Right, we're going to try it. We're going to do it. Wait. Oh yeah, that's why the music seems loud. Because I had my whole PC to sound turned up a bit. I think you're so ready. I can't remember who was talking about this, but somebody was. Yes, I think you're so ready. You played it yesterday on your Switch. Galaxy! Ooh, love that. If that is the game you're talking about. Yes, no, you are. It's very true. Right. Oh, category didn't update. Yeah, it did update. Okay. Cool. Good enough about being perceived. That's so fair. That's so fair, though. Right, so, for anybody that has not got the memo about this yet, I've just opened the wrong thing. I'm playing this on my Nintendo Wii U. And I would also just like to stress that there is nothing at all altered about the game. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean that this doesn't look normal. My Wii U does this all the time. It always does this. Also, chat box is in the way, but ooh, what's that? What's that? Okay, I do have one question for you. And the question is, do I play Master Mode? Sorry, ignore this, don't perceive any of what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna do it. Right, okay, so here's the thing. On my Nintendo Wii U, I can change certain things. So I'm going to do a Master Mode-ish, right? Because on Master Mode, the enemies regen their health, which is really fucking annoying. So I'm turning that shit off. Absolutely not, I'm not doing it. So what I want to do is I want to have more... more things. Yes, Trevor. Yes. Hello, hi. Yes, Trev. You bet another Celeste fan. Let's go. I mean, there's so many of them because it is the best game in the world. But, like, you know. I hope this takes me to the menu. It does. Okay. Right. That's very good, though. I do love me a good Celeste fan. Okay. I'm going to turn off the music and then we'll play this instead. So yeah, we're going to do Master Mode-ish. And yes, as Sabine has said, we are playing Zelda's Ballad. Let me just adjust the volume as well. When some volume actually happens. Nintendo presents The Legend of Zelda. No, Trev, no. It's really quiet, I'm sorry. We'll get there. There you go, Sabine. Sabine's on it. Ooh. Looks a bit fucked, but I think you now understand already. This is what we're doing, friends. They're looking refreshed as fuck. Truly. Truly. Thought Zelda was ripped for a second. Okay. Just truly, when she's in the bath, it's like, So. Oh shit. Bye-bye. This is what we're doing. Yo, it's so quiet. Why is it so quiet? What can I do about that? Does that do anything for me? Ooh. Okay. Please hold. That doesn't work. Is Breath of the Wild but woman? It's Zelda! It's Zelda! That's true, yeah. Yeah. What does that run? What? Yeah, no, there's some... the animations have been altered as well. And you can debate in chat whether we like it or not. But I don't know how to separate the animations from the rest of the mod. Why is it so quiet? She's dilly-dallying, truly. Don't like it. There. Right. What are we thinking about the audio? Because the way I thought I could turn it up, I can't. I can't turn it up like that. The other would run more aggressively. The run. Oh, hang on. I think the run is still Link's run, but like, so she frolics, but then the run is still she still legs it. She's still zooming. The audio is very quiet. I don't know how to turn it up any further without just nuking desktop audio. I suppose that's not bad, though. Comments, concerns? Because I can barely hear it. That's louder. Yeah, it's louder for you all. That's for sure. Louder for you all. What if I... Now I can't hear it at all. Oh, there you go. Let's see. Let's go and open the chest. Okay, yes, I know how to play the game, thank you. Is this an acceptable volume for us? What do we think? Okay, also, just to add that this has custom armor. Well, I say armor, this is just clothes, but you know. Custom outfits and things to wear, which is pretty cool. You accept, okay. Obscure symbols decorate the pedestal. The symbols on the Sheikah slate seem to match up with some of them. Hold up the slate. Authenticating. Sheikah slate confirmed. She looks so cool. I love her already. Honestly, though. Damn, that's bright. You have to go. No, that's okay, bestie. That's okay. Oh, stay for this bit. Yes, excellent. Be lucky still, that's okay. It says Zelda's Ballad under my webcam, sorry. Yeah. It's because my Wii U is what it is, yeah. Yes, my Wii U. Absolutely. So, yeah, on a real level, the shaders are different. The shaders, to be honest, look more like Tears of the Kingdom. Like in Tears of the Kingdom, you can see further and things like that. It's a bit like that. But you can change... There's lots of different presets and stuff, and it's really cool. Yes, my Wii U Deluxe. That's what I have, yes. What the fuck is a stick? Zelda is baffled. What is this thing? I don't understand. Let go. It's a stick. Tree branch. Wooden branches such as this are pretty common but surprisingly well balanced. Can't do much damage but can serve as a weapon in a pinch. Me when I go outside, actually though. Like, actually. Oh, bug! Beetle's gonna fucking love me. Got shrooms, good. You tell me to go touch grass, I'm just like, what? Bladed rhino beetle, let's go. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for up here. Go and talk to the old man, shall I? I want your apple. I beg your pardon. I do believe that's my baked apple. You can't just go around taking whatever you please. Oh, forgive me. Could not resist pulling your leg. Please help yourself. An apple and an open flame make for a succulent treat. It's a bit strange to see another soul in these parts. Who are you? Me? I'll spare you my life story. Just an old fool who's lived here alone for quite some time though. What brings a bright-eyed young woman like you to a place like this? Just to highlight that, yes, they've changed the dialogue as well as part of the mod. Where are we? Answering a question with a question. That's fair enough. I cannot imagine meeting you to be a simple coincidence. I shall tell you. This is the Great Plateau. According to legend, this is the birthplace of the entire Kingdom of Hyrule. That temple there, long ago it was site to many sacred ceremonies. Ever since the decline of the kingdom 100 years ago, it sat abandoned in a state of decay. Yet another forgotten entity, a mere ghost of its former self. Can I, talk to you more? What are you doing? Relaxing by the fireside, of course, although I'll need to cook myself another baked apple at some point. Simple foods such as apples are fine to eat raw, but roasting them on fire makes them tastier and more nutritious. I shall be here for some time. Please let me know if I may be of service. This is just the same dialogue. Yes, it is. Okay. Well then, just help yourself to that torch there. And how, may I ask, are you planning to use it? It's a weapon. Innovative. However, it's probably best used to light fires. If you need a weapon, you can find something better. Many beasts roam the land past this point. You can take my axe with you if you please, assuming you can find it. She actually is, yes. However, do not just swing it around without purpose. You must face your opponents and lock your sights on them. Okay. I found your axe, mate. It's literally just here. It's only here, mate. That's not hard at all. Okay. So, I know this game very well. Well, hang on. Oh, shit. Whilst I was testing this out... Please hold. While I was testing this out, I did turn off stamina. Because it's a bit annoying. There you go. Working again. Good. Right, follow the Sheikah Slate. Okay. So, as I was, saying, I have actually played this game a lot. And so I know where a lot of things are. Apple! Oh, I missed it. And I forgot to get the apples up here as well. Oh. Nice. Okay. So, I think the master mode is going to really start master moding in a minute, because isn't there a... Oh. Yes! A fucking blue bokoblin when they're supposed to just be red ones. That's a pain, isn't it? Right, where am I? Here. Let's get our first one! Yippee! Yeah, you found me. Huh? You're not Hestu. But you can see me. I didn't know your kind could see the children of the forest. You're a weird lady. Please, if you run into Hestu, please return this to him. Oh, my friends are hiding in lots of different places too. Don't be shy about poking your nose into suspicious places. Sure thing. Oh, the hare doesn't swim very well. Whee! Whee! It's fine, right? It's fine. Hare's going places it actually is, isn't it? Rusty broadsword. Okay. Throw weapons. Good, good. Sploosh. Right, so, from everything I've seen and heard, on Master Mode, your best bet is to just avoid enemies. Because, like... Because... Yeah, they're, like, leveled up and I've got no weapons right now. What, you mean these fish? Oh, okay. You mean these ones? I don't know what you mean. They're just normal fish, right? This is a normal playthrough. There's nothing odd happening here. I don't know what you mean. It's just a Hyrule bass. It's just a Hyrule bass, right? I know nothing about this game. Don't gaslight me. For legal reasons, I might gaslight you a little bit. There's... Right. We're not there yet, and I'm not telling you what it is. But there is one mod that made me want to get this. And when you see it, you're collectively going to lose your shit. I can promise you that. Is he yawning? Okay. Pulling Mimi out the lurk for the cheap sheep. This is just normal. It's all totally fine. Nice one, Zelda. Thank you. But yes, no, on a real level, they're not supposed to look like that. Right, there's lots of enemies here, aren't there, as well? Yeah, and they're all fucking blue ones. So you're not lurking anymore. Hi, hello. Hiya. This playthrough's going to give me a very wrong idea of the game. It's not that... You piss off. It's not that bad. It's still the base game, just a little bit different. Also, I added some of the mods a long time ago, so I can't remember what they all do necessarily. So funny when first timers watch a modded playthrough because it's so easy to gaslight on what is and isn't parts of the game. There, yeah. Oh wow, she jumped. Is this a Korok? Yeah, Korok! Yeah! Bye! What was that? What is that? Oh, an acorn. Nice. You talking to a Zelda? I love the cheap sheeps in Zelda games. On a real level, there is one Zelda game that has like chain chomps and Goombas and stuff. It's a bit weird. We're 100% this game, right? I'm down to get all the Koroks. I'm down to do that. Maybe. Maybe. Definitely all shrines. Absolutely. All shrines. Maybe all the Koroks. We'll see. See, I don't trust you saying that now. No, on a real level, Link's Awakening, they went weird and they used some Mario things as well. It was odd. Yeah. Another torch, thank you. Oh, hey! It's your birthday and that level 5 stream was an awesome birthday present. Yes, I saw the Layton... just the video that was on YouTube, the little trailer, that's all I've seen. But yes, it does look very good. Can I get rid of the leaves? Yes, I can. Good. There's another Korok. And yes, happy birthday, of course. Yeah. Bye. Oh, there's 2 more there. Oh, no, I'm not going that way. I know, I'm so hyped for the new Layton. I'm so excited for it. Right, you don't perceive me, do you? No, you don't. You don't suspect a thing. Okay. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Gunman Joe? Absolutely. Oh, huge! It does damage them. Nice. How you made that a meme? Yeah. Oh, does this rock not push? Thank you. Go on, down the hill. Oh, sad times. I want the stick. I don't have a shield yet. This is bad. There we go. I shall now beat you to death with your own stick. Ow. Maybe not. Wait, do I have to go sideways? How do I do this? What do I do? It must be that, right? It must be sideways. Yeah, sideways. Yay! First enemy! Goblin horn. Goblin fang. Huge! Okay. Okay, yes, I'm to follow the map, aren't I? Send it to the Discord game chat. I feel like it fits. I'll have a look after stream. Yes, yes. Oh, this guy's got a shield. Ooh, okay. Oh, you see me from so far away on Master Mode. That's insane. You know what? Fuck you. Psych, get wrecked. Right, and then one of those has a bow, which I want. Oh, I missed. Oh, you both have bows. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Hit him with a spin to win. That seems to have worked quite well. Wait, you keep your bow in your hand? No. I've played this game a lot, if you couldn't already tell that. Okay. I'm also about to die. But it's fine. It's okay. I've taken down 3 bokoblins. Place the Sheikah slate in the pedestal. I don't like how she holds it like that and her hand goes like... Sheikah Tower activated. Please watch for falling rocks. Oh, there you go. You can see how different it looks on the base game without the shader alterations. Ooh. Wow, it looks so different. Great Plateau Tower. Distilling local information. Regional map extracted. Oh, the face looks so weird. Oh yeah, sorry, it always lags when it tries to load in something new. Oh no. Oh shit, I know, right? Follow the Sheikah slate is complete. Okay. Let's hardcore parkour down here. Hardcore parkour. She's going at speed. Really schmoving. You want to hang on stream, but you're getting a headache, so you may have to call it a night. That's so okay if you've got to go to bed. So okay. I hope you have a great night, and I hope your headache goes away. Because that sounds gross. My, it would seem we have quite the enigma here. Enigma? This tower and others just like it have erupted across the land, one after another. Enigma. It's almost as though a long dormant power has awoken quite suddenly. We'll watch the VOD though. Got to get on the Zelda Lore Sunday. Yes. I love this game a lot. I've loved it since 2017. So, yes. And we'll keep playing through it on the channel. So, it'll be a good time. If you don't mind me asking, did anything odd occur when you were at the top of that tower? The castle. Haunted by a great evil indeed. Did you happen to recognise the ancient castle? No. Have a good stream. Have a good sleep, bestie. I see. Well, that is unfortunate. I assume you caught sight of the atrocity enshrouding the castle. That is Calamity Ganon. 100 years ago, the vile entity brought the kingdom of Hyrule to ruin. It appeared suddenly and destroyed everything in its path. So many innocent lives were lost in its wake. For a century, the very symbol of our kingdom, Hyrule Castle, has barely managed to contain that evil. It festers there, building its strength for the moment it will unleash its blight upon the land once again. It would appear that moment is fast approaching. I must ask you, my dear, did you intend to make your way to the castle? I do. I had a feeling you'd say that. Here on this isolated plateau, we're surrounded on all sides by steep cliffs with no way down. If you were to try to jump off, well, no death would be more certain or more foolish. Ooh. Of course, if you had a paraglider like mine, that would be quite another story. Would I have it? Oh, certainly, why not? But there's no such thing as a free item in this world, you know. Let's see now. How about I trade it for a bit of treasure that slumbers nearby? Come, let me show you something. Oh no, doesn't he walk really slowly? No. Come on, old man, come on. Do you see that structure there? The one with the shining light? Over there, yes. It began glowing at the exact moment those towers rose up from the ground. I would think such a place might house some sort of treasure, wouldn't you? Treasure for the paraglider. A fair exchange, I believe. Right, fine, okay. I'll go. I want some of these fish. Really? Come on. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna go round. Like, no thank you. I sort of want the butterfly, but I can't get to it. Oh, no, you don't see me. What's on that one? Any treasure? Oh, there is. Hang on. Oh, I thought I could get two of them. Get wrecked, idiot. Oh! Oh no! You've got fancy arrows. Oh shit. Oh, am I going to get bomb arrows now? Oh, that's huge. Or they fire. No, they fire. Okay. Spiked Boko bow. Nice. Fire arrows. Can I push this chest with my face? No. I don't think I can get in there then. Which sucks because it's probably got something good in it. Oh shit, this was a mistake. And you didn't have any arrows either. Oh no, you don't. Don't shoot me, don't shoot me, don't shoot me, don't shoot me. Yeah, that's fine. Nailed it. Okay. This is a ruby, right? Yeah. Oh no, I skipped it. Oh, I shouldn't have skipped it for the first one. Oh, that's a bit sad. Okay. Yippee! Oh, the loading screen's red for master mode. Oh, I don't know if I like that. Okay, first shrine. You who sets foot in this shrine, I am Oman Or. In the name of Goddess Hylia, I offer this trial. Rune extracted. Okay, yes, use the rune. Fuck you. Okay, that was a bit vicious even for me. Ancient screw. And then there's a chest over there, isn't there? Oh. Come here. Traveler's bow. Nice. Oh! How many bows can you have? Oh, I've got quite a few. Good for me. This is very pretty, especially on my Wii U. It's very pretty. I didn't mean to pan in on Zelda when I said that. You know what I mean. Ooh. You have proven to possess the virtue to fulfill your destiny. I am Oman Or, the creator of this trial. I know, right? The original hardware is just amazing. I am a humble monk, blessed with the sight of Goddess Hylia and dedicated to helping you who seeks to seal away Calamity Ganon. With your arrival, my duty is now fulfilled. In the name of the Goddess Hylia, allow me to bestow this gift upon you. Please accept this spirit orb. Oh. Just took a second. Yay. Da na 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 na. And a full heal. May the goddess smile upon you. May she. May she do that. Yes, yes. Master mode. Whoa. Seems like you managed to get your hands on a spirit orb. Well done. How'd you know? Clairvoyance. Oh, or something similar. As one gets older, it becomes more difficult to see what's right before one's own eyes. However, that which was once hidden from view can become crystal clear. But perhaps that's not true for everyone. The appearance of those towers and the awakening of the shrine is all connected to the Sheikah slate you carry on your hip. What do you mean? It's been quite some time since I've seen that Sheikah slate. Long ago, a highly advanced tribe known as the Sheikah inhabited these lands. The great power of their wisdom saved the kingdom time and time again. But their ancient technology disappeared long ago, or so it's said. It's intriguing, however, to think that something that survived all this time, hidden away in a shrine. These shrines are tucked away in numerous places across the land. On this plateau alone, I believe there are still 3 more. Bring me the treasure from each of those shrines and I'll give you my paraglider. So I need to do more? Got scammed. I said treasure, but I never said there would only be one treasure. Whether it's 1 treasure or 4, what's the difference for a young go-getter like yourself? Since I'm feeling generous, I'll teach you a trick for finding shrines. Always best to survey the area by looking from a high point. Let's see here. How about you make your way to the top of the tower again? You're joking? Oh. I'm afraid not, but don't worry, I have another little trick to share for your for your efforts. Take a look at the map. See those blue icons? You should recognize the cave where you woke and the shrine you came from and the tower. You can travel instantly to any of those places with the Sheikah slate. Or so I heard, quite some time ago. I do not know if it actually works as such. So, bro wants me... Oh. Thank you. To go all the way back to the top of the tower. Amber, nice. And an opal, nice. Can I just grab them out of the water, do you think? Oh, I can! Huge. Okay, this is just what you do in early game. You just drop boxes on top of boxes and you get arrows and it's great. Is that another one? Yeah. Oh, I've run out of stamina again. Okay, let me just be a game quickly as well. Huge! Such a gamer. now I can't get back down, can I? Nice. Oh, my shield's damaged just from that. Oh, dear. Also, it's going to get dark soon, and I'm excited for it to get dark, because I may have had a few more changes once it's dark. Da, 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 da. Bye. Oh, a lizard. Right, he wants me to go to the top of the tower. I don't think I can be bothered to do that again. Wait, I can get in the chest now. Idea. An idea's happened. No, 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 don't go up, don't go up, don't go up, don't go up. Okay. Ooh, that's huge. Thanks. Not thanks. Oh, bye. Okay, have I got another shield? No, that's a problem. What's glowing there? Arrows? Oh, from the fight earlier. Maybe. I don't know. Right, I'm not going back to the top of the tower. The old man can draw. There's going to be so many enemies in there. I've got no chance yet. What I will do is try and take out my first guardian, though. Frogs. Ancient screw. This looks suspicious. No? Okay. Right, let's see if I've still got it. Oh, the lag, no! Okay. Your Honor, right? When it loads in something new, it horrendously lags for a moment. I would like to plead that that's not my fault. But now it's loaded, it should be okay. Okay, I've got no shield now. Run away! It seems I don't still have it. Right, can you go back to sleep, please? Because I need to climb a wall before you shoot me. Thank you. Oh no! No, 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 no! No, 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 no! Piss off. Okay, it's fine. Huge. Saved it. Absolutely saved it. Okay, bombs. Who sets foot in the shrine? I'm Jabaji. In the name goes highly out of the trial. Okay. I'm going to start skipping that text because no. Still angry. I think I've had my headphones turned down a bit this whole stream. That's very much a me problem. Yay! Ooh. Inventory's full. No, let's lose a stick. Nice. I want that chest. Whee! Nice. Oh shit. Oh, double shit. Come on, thank you. Let me just have a look around, because I didn't really do that last time. It's very pretty. Resourcefulness in overcoming this trial is proof of your valor and dedication. Thank you. In the name of Hylia, I bestow upon you the spirit orb. Thanks. Thanks, monk. Really? Okay. What? Get wrecked, dry bones. See ya. See ya. See ya. Oh yeah, I can't carry any more weapons. Oh, I'll take the poker club, yeah. No, I want Traveler's Sword. Just in case Sabine's watching the VOD, no, dry bones is not supposed to be in this game. Ooh. I mean, it's cute, but no. No, we're having that. Oh, you're alive as well. No, not now, dry bones. No. Wait. What's the worst weapon I have? It is actually that. Okay. No. Screw it. Hey, there we go. I'm so back. Ancient shaft. Right, I've thought of something else that I need to do, actually. I need to go... Thank you, Barry. Yes, yes. I need to go and get some meat, don't I? So that the guy will give me the... Oh, shit, the bed. There's a Lionel there in master mode. Sorry, trail of thought's been completely lost. Right, who's in here? How many people are in here? Oh, they're all going to die if I do it. Okay, let's do it. Heartily fuck this up. Okay. Okay, that went actually okay. There's a black one in here. Oh, fuck. I can't defeat a black one right now. Okay, goodbye. Go away. Wait, I've got a quarter of a heart. Oh, no. Okay, running away time. Running away. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is sneaky sneak. But do I even actually want that weapon? Probably it's better than this, isn't it? Ah, fuck. Oh. You little shit, you. I forgot they can pick up barrels. Okay. Okay, let's change my strategy. Nice. Ow. Good. Excellent. Well, I should be eating bombs more, shouldn't I? Huh? Okay. Oh, hi. Oh, you've got so much health. Is it even worth it? Probably, yeah. Right, I want some Hyrule Herb. Because I think it's what I need. See, the issue I have is I stubbornly refuse to heal when I should heal. Like, it's a known problem for me. Still down there? No. Right, I want to go in here. Oh, no, I don't want to go in here. No. Aha, giving them the slip. Let's go. Right, I want to go down here and I want that. Oh, that was huge. But he didn't die, really. Stressed, don't even. Where are you? Oh, you've gone over there, you little shit. I'm back here. It's like you don't want me to kill you. There we go. Because I need some meat. Because I think meat, fish, and maybe a Hyrule Herb get me an armor piece. Oh, old man's here. Hello, old man. Wait. Where's he zooming? Look at him go. What have you found? Well, 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 so we meet again. It's when we at 11:30. Don't even, Blair, don't. Could you not see that I'm hunting here? You'll scare off my prey like that. At least crouch down a bit. No. If I sit by a fire, that won't heal me, will it? No. Okay. Should I cook something? What can I currently cook? Tell you what, let's go over this way. And I'll cook at his house. Look, he's only out for 5 minutes and it's been like an hour. Ew. That always sucks, yep. This stamina thing's a bit long, to be honest. I could do with some more stamina. Well, how do you whistle sprint? Oh, kind of doing it. And then it stopped working. But new protein shakes have arrived. Let's go. That's huge. Not gonna lie, they're good. Nice. Right. That is a problem. You are a problem. Because I certainly don't have the facilities to defeat a Lionel right now. So I'm going to skirt around the temple, I think. Bit of a problem, yeah. For sure, a bit of a problem. I don't think I need to go in the temple right now. I don't think there's anything in there for me currently. That I won't get later when I'm forced to go there by this main story. There it is. Yeah, you don't see shit, mate. Get wrecked. Then what's down there? Oh, only 3. That's not bad. I could do that, maybe. If the mood possesses me in a moment. Pot lid. Right, let me read the old man's diary. On this desolate plateau, the only pleasure that brings me comfort is cooking. And today I outdid myself and created a truly perfect dish. I call it spicy meat and seafood fry. But this recipe not only restores health, also keeps me warm even when travelling in the snowy mountains. With this dish by my side, I no longer have any need of that itchy warm doublet. I do not know how I will allow this to happen, but it seems... No, I do not know how I allowed this to happen, but it seems I forgot to write down the very important recipe. I know it contained raw meat and a spicy pepper. However, I simply cannot remember what else I used. My age is catching up to me. Sadly, on this lonely plateau, I only have my knowledge and memory to rely on. Still, I did manage to find... If I did manage to find someone who knew the missing ingredient, I would happily reward them my warm delay. However, it seemed unlikely that such a miraculous wish will ever be fulfilled. Right. So, Buddy wants... Fuck! Shit! Is there another one? I'm dead. I was going to reload the save. Don't. Shut your little face. Zelda just wolfed it. Wait, is this... Have I reloaded a save that's too late? Load that save. Yes. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, let's do all of that again then. Hello over there. Right. Right, now this time we're going to hold the meat and not eat it. Hold. Along with Hyrule Bass and a spicy pepper, which I haven't picked up on this save file. Amazing. Okay, huge. Hold. 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 Spicy meat and seafood fry. Let's go. Okay, then on a real level, I should cook some more things. Okay, that's too much because I've only got 3 hearts. Perfect. What do I get for just a fish? Oh, 2 hearts. Lovely. Okay. That'll do me for now. Then, if I go to Magai... Hello. What are you doing? Thought this tree might make for some good firewood. However, getting a tree to fall exactly where you want is quite an art. Trick is to turn your hips so that they face where you want the tree to land. So see you found my axe, want to help me out and give it a few swings. That's not your axe. There you go. Oh yeah, I could sleep in the bed. Oh, that is actually very nice, thank you. Oh, his bed isn't great, is it? Oh well. Right, are you sat here now? Yes, so can I give you the food? I cooked something. Cheap viewers on your mum. But thank you for popping in. How did you... Well, I suppose that's not important. Can I trouble you to share the recipe? Of course, Hyrule Bass. How could I have forgotten? Oh, no, you're going to move your ass to bed. No worries, no worries. Please allow me to reward your culinary efforts with this warm doublet. Warm waistcoat. A warm pullover and waistcoat made from the same sturdy fabric typically worn by mountain folk. It's great at retaining body heat and fits you snugly. What a coincidence. With that, you'll be able to resist the bite of colder environments. You'll still be here, of course. No worries. Okay. Also, I like how the warm doublet looks. I think it looks cool. Okay, I can't remember what's over there, apart from the 2 bokoblins. but we'll see. Whee! Okay. What's actually down there? Like, when I'm off the plateau, what is down there? Oh, you can't see it because it's all foggy. Okay. Nice. Sure, you can have one of these. Whoa. Ah! No, it's bombs. This is not going as I'd hoped it would go. Fuck you. Ow. Ow. Ooh. Oh, get wrecked. Goodbye. I got wood. Oh, thank you. What is in here? Nice. Cool. Okay. So I'd originally thought, why don't I get off the plateau today? But there's still quite a bit to do, unless I just absolutely speedrun it. Which now I've got the Wounded Blade, I can kind of do, to be honest. Which all I need to do is get up to the shrines. Right, there's 4 of those. There's 4 of them. Right. Have a little scrap? Why not? No, that's not the right button. That's the right button. That was probably quite a terrible idea from me, wasn't it, to be honest? Oh, no, that one's got a boat. This is a problem. Wait, they know what bombs are and tried to kick them away. That's crazy. Right, that's not going to work. Okay. The strat doesn't work. Oh, I'm back over here. Thank you. Yes, yes. Right, I feel like I should not do that. What I just did. I think that was a bad idea. So I might just go around. Come on, Zelda. Let's go. Do you reckon I can go up this way? Would that be a bit quicker? Yes, it would be. To go up this way. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, go slowly. Okay, where's the shrine? There it is. Okay. I want another sweet. Ooh. Okay, stasis time. You stay right there. Don't follow my head, don't follow my head, don't follow my head. Thank you. Ooh. Very nice, thank you. Okay, Zelda. Nice. Da, na, 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 na. Okay, I do kind of speedrun the plateau a little bit because I've done it quite a few times. I won't lie to you. Right. Oh, another bone. Fuck's sake. Okay. Yes, let's lose the axe. Take that. Oh, was that too much? No, it's fine. Hey, Max. Hey. Yes. We're playing Breath of the Wild, and it's very normal, and there's nothing different about it at all. But yes, I hope you're doing well. How are you? How's things? Oh, yeah, you're so going down there. Before they all walk away, please. Oh. Normal copy of the game, yeah. Nope, get wrecked. Well, there's only one left. Don't mind if I do. Oh, you're going to set one of those off, mate. No, you stay right there. No, you stay right there. No, not my shield. Oh, that's a problem. There we go. Right, get wrecked. With my hammer. See ya. Doing relatively well. Hope I'm doing well too. I feel that really. Yeah, I'm doing relatively well. All that for 5 hours, really. But yeah, no. Yeah, it's alright. I'm alright. Okay, so I think the strat here is just to avoid everything. Oh, I've got 1/4 of a heart. Oh dear. Nice. Where do I go? I can't remember. For a split second when you came in, it was freaking out thinking I managed to get Echoes of Wisdom early because you heard Zelda noises. Oh, I wish. I wish, but no. Right, if I go to the top now, there's not a whole lot of point apart from talking to the old man, right? Because I've already got the warm display. It's pretty. Aha, hello. Best views. Oh, another one. Bye-bye. Fierce cold atop these mountains can take quite a toll as the night sets in. With a breathtaking view, this may be the best place to get a full view of the entire plateau. Another one, truly. Did you know about the scope on your Sheikah slate? Look through it and you can stick a pin anywhere you'd like to mark the map. Yes, I know how to do that. Yeah. More to go. Yeah, okay. Oh, Amber. What, the Zelda noises? I think they were recorded for this, I think. I think they... You know, it's just somebody's voice that they got to do it. I think. Where was that Korra puzzle that I literally just saw? Is it down here? There it is. Zelda, please. Zelda, please. Oh, I need some snow boots. Yay! Anyway, minor Korok abuse aside, let's go down here. Ah! Oh yeah, so Max, there's nothing different here either. I don't know what you mean. Wait, no, don't use that weapon. Use this. Yeah, no, it's all normal, Max. This is fine, right? Wait, what? Like, we can't get a discount at all? Oh, that's a bit... Oh, wow. I did not know that. No, that is... I mean, I won't lie, it doesn't affect me personally very much, but like, oh dear. Nope. Get out of it. Oh, that sucks. Was there... How do you know? Was there a... Is there something to read about that somewhere? Because I will have a read. Update the website, so I don't know if they just need to re-add them or if they're just not going to do it. They've got to re-add them. There'll be absolute mutiny if they don't. People will kick off. They're going to pre-order a book and your number didn't work. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, no, that sucks. Cryonis trial. You're gonna play Wind Waker or watch B play Breath of the Wild. Nice. Been painfully excited for Echoes of Wisdom that you've been playing and replaying. Wind Waker and A Link Between Worlds. There we go. For the past week, decided until tomorrow night. Oh, is it tomorrow night it comes out? Ooh, exciting. I'm not going to get it at launch. To be honest, for financial reasons. But yes, I will get it at some point soon. Well, for Christmas, I think I'll get it. No, fuck you, idiot. Oh, you got a lot of health. No. No. Oh, fuck's sake. It's a chunky health bar. For master mode, yeah, it must be. It must be leveled up for master mode, because that was rough. Oh, I'm at the start again. Well, yeah, of course I'm at the start again, but like, oof. Right. Aha. I figured out I'm kind of playing master mode. Because... Oh, please. There we go. What I'm playing with, if you catch my drift, Max, it lets you slightly customize things. So enemy health regen, I've turned that off because I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered with it. So I'm sort of playing master mode. I'm playing baby master mode. But it does still make the enemies tougher and things like that. So. Yay. Anything there? No. Okay. Okay, I want this paraglider. Honestly, really curious about how you set this up, but I didn't want to ask. Yeah, I don't know how much I'm allowed to disclose, but yes, what I'm playing on has some customizable features, as you've seen. And yeah, I'm taking full advantage of them. Oh! Where are you? There you are. With this, you now have acquired all of the spirit orbs from the shrines on this plateau. That's really cool. It's exactly what you like to do. Play on harder difficulty, but make some things easier. Yeah, I want to play harder difficulty, but, like, keep it fun, because... Extraordinary. That means it's finally time. Zelda, it's finally time for me to tell you everything. But first... Rev, hello. Imagine an X on your map with the 4... Oh, yeah. I know where this is. Do you understand? Where the two lines connecting shrines across there, I'll be waiting. Right, have you got anything I should care about? No. Food time. Ooh, what are you having, or what did you get? I want to get the paraglider because then I can just wind bomb everywhere and it's going to be so good. The ice ones look amazing. Oh, that's so good. I suppose I might as well do this now, might I? No! Oh, you little bitches! No, 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 no. Run away! Fucking run away, Zelda! Okay. We're fine. Everything's fine. No, it's not fine! I had to deploy a faster weapon there because, my god. Wait, no, I can go that way, can't I? I can jump. Oh no, I can't jump that. Oh my god, I thought that was a backpack Korok. I've got Tears of the Kingdom brain still. What's this? Not worth. Ooh, I'll have that though. That is worth. Oh, he's there. Oh, shit. No. Stamina. No. Where am I? I don't know where I am. If I go down here, am I good? Yes. Okay, I know where I am. Okay, the question is, do I get hearts or stamina? Because if I get hearts, that means closer to the Master Sword. But the stamina is so long. Stamina's dumb at this point, isn't it? Stamina's just dumb. Yes, give me a heart container. I didn't even read the dialogue. It might have been cool dialogue because it's Zelda. You are ever closer to your destiny.
Oh!
Gotta go hard selling on, yeah. Her face, oh my god. That blessing of the goddess has made you that much more resilient, I see. Here I am. Get up here, quickly. Oh, nice one, Zelda. I said, wait. I wish. Let's go.
Well done there, young one. Now then, the time has come to show you who I truly am. I was King Rome Bosphoramus Hyrule. I was the last leader of Hyrule, a kingdom which no longer exists.
Holy shit! It's King Rome Bosphoramus Hyrule! No way!
The great calamity was merciless. It
Oh,
devastated
that's her father.
everything in its path. Lo, a century ago. It was then that my life was taken away from me. And since that time, here I have remained in spirit
It was
form.
King Rome the whole time. I know.
Wise to overwhelm
Crazy, right?
you while your memory was still fragile. So rather than that, I thought it best to assume a temporary form. Forgive me. I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago.
Cut scenes, cut scenes, cut scenes.
To know Calamity Ganon's true form, one must know the story from an age-long past.
No worries, no
The Demon King
worries.
was
Have a
born
good
into
night,
this kingdom,
friend.
but his transformation into malice created the horror you see now. Stories of Ganon were passed from generation to generation in the form of legends and fairy tales. But there was also a prophecy.
Ooh.
The signs of a resurrection of Calamity Ganon are clear, and the power to oppose it lies dormant beneath the ground. We decided to heed the prophecy and began excavating large areas of land. It wasn't long before we discovered several ancient relics made by the hands of our distant ancestors. These relics, the divine beasts, were giant machines piloted by warriors. We also found the Guardians, an army of mechanical soldiers who fought autonomously. This coincided with ancient legends, oft repeated throughout our land. We also learned of a princess with a sacred power, and her appointed knight, chosen by the sword that seals the darkness. It was they who sealed Ganon away using the power of these ancient relics. 100 years ago, there was a princess set to inherit a sacred power and a skilled knight at her side. It was clear that we must follow our ancestors' path. We selected 4 skilled individuals from across Hyrule and tasked them with the duty of piloting the divine beasts. With the princess as their commander, we dubbed these pilots champions, a name that would solidify their unique bond. The princess, her appointed knight, and the rest of the champions were on the brink of sealing away Ganon. But nay.
But nay.
Ganon was cunning, and he responded with a plan beyond our imagining.
Yeah, no.
He appeared from deep below Hyrule Castle, seized control of the Guardians and the Divine Beasts, and turned them against us. The champions lost their lives, those residing in Dusk as well. The appointed knight, gravely wounded, collapsed while defending the princess. And thus, the kingdom of Hyrule was devastated absolutely by Calamity Ganon. However, the princess survived.
Yeah, I know, mate. I'm aware of that.
Alone.
We don't know. It's sort of... Don't think about it too hard. And just, yeah, we'll see. That was none other than you, my daughter. The courageous knight who protected you right up to the very end. He fought valiantly when his fate took an unfortunate turn. Mortally wounded, he fell. Shortly after, you suffered the same fate. You were both taken to the Shrine of Resurrection. So here you now stand, revitalized 100 years later. However, my dear Zelda, time is not on our side. Ganon is growing stronger and stronger until eventually nothing will stop him from consuming our land. Considering I could not save my own kingdom, I have no right to ask this of you. Somehow, Ganon has maintained control over all 4 divine beasts, as well as guardians swarming around Hyrule Castle. Although it would be quite reckless for you to head to the castle at this point. Go on. Here is the paraglider, just as I promised. Yippee! I suggest that you make your way east to one of the villages in the wilderness. Follow the road out to Kakariko village. There you'll find the Elder Impa. She will tell you more about the path that lies ahead. Consult the map on your Sheikah slate for the precise location of Kakariko village. Make your way past the twin summits of the Dueling Peaks. From there, follow the road as it proceeds north. Yes, Zelda, my daughter, forgive me. Nice. What's in here? Soldier's bow. Ooh. Of course it's full. When isn't it full? Okay. That may be where I leave it for today. Before we go into the land of Hyrule and everything, I think that's a good place to stop. So, I shall save. Nice. And I'll put us on just chatting. How do I do that? Yeah, okay. So, thanks for stream. Glad I got to catch the end. Just got home from work just in time. Nice. I hope you had a good day at work. And yes, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Close that as well. Okay. Oh, why is my own stream there? Hey. Oh, I've had Trev's stream open this whole time and Trev raided me. I see, I see. Oh, wow. Oh. No, I saw someone's a raid, but they're just ending, so okay. Right, yeah, no, I won't raid anyone in that case. Yeah, no, they literally just ended. I've refreshed again and they've gone. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to end the stream there. And yeah. Okay, so for next stream, I don't know quite when it will be. I'm busy tomorrow. I think I'm busy on Thursday as well. So it could be Friday or it could be one day after the weekend. I don't know. We'll see. But yes, that's what I'm going to do. That's the plan. So yeah, there's no one to raid, so I'll probably just wind it down there, I think. But thank you for being here, everyone that has been here, whether you've been here or you've been lurking or anything. I got a lot of work coming up, right? Yeah, I have 6 days in a row. Yay. I'm so thrilled about this, but you know. It's okay, it be what it be. Yeah. I know, right? Edge. I'm not happy. No, it's fine, and I did need today off, so I'm glad we swapped. Oh wait, is it Leanne's birthday today? Oh, nice. I'll deal with that after stream. Okay. So, yes, I will end the stream there. So I appreciate you all for being here, and I will see you next time. Okay. Bye, friends. Bye. That's completely the wrong screen. Goodbye.